Cause I'ma kick your ass a lot.
I'm keeping that into this part. All right, we're talking about Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow now. Decent match. I really wish that they would have had more time, but I liked what they did, and I'd like to see a rematch between the two of them. I'm glad that Cody Rhodes won on top of that, too.
Yeah, sure, why not? Are we seriously starting now?
Yeah, I'm keeping the Vicky
Oh my
Langston thing in there.
This match was pretty pointless.
I thought it was good. It was very fast paced. Like, I mean, they went out and they actually worked the match with the time constraints they had. I mean, I thought it was good. For what it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Liar.
You thought it was pointless, Peyton?
It was completely pointless
Why do you say that?
because nothing really happened.
Cody Rhodes got his retribution. He proves that he could have been a rightful contender.
And he proved that the next time of Raw as well.
The only thing that happened is he got pushed off the ladder because he wasn't paying attention at Money in the Bank. Otherwise, he's won practically every match he's been in, except for this week against Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
But see, having him beat Damien Sandow means that the two of them, now there's more of a justification that they could have a match for the briefcase if they decide to go that way.
Oh, Cody Rhodes could just go to his local Godiva store and buy his own Money in the Bank briefcase if he wants it.
Can you get a chocolate briefcase, though?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if, before we saw the Money in the Bank briefcase that Damien Sandow has now, there actually was a gold foil around it that he had to unwrap?
It'd literally be a golden ticket now, wouldn't it? He's got a golden ticket. But the match was certainly okay for the time they were given. Well, they weren't given a whole lot of time, but what they had to work with, they did good. Just nothing really to complain about here.
Yeah,
and kind of went the way I thought it would.
Burhan, you even were raving about the Muscle Buster.
I loved it. I think the match was great. I just didn't like the ending. I think Rhodes shouldn't have won the match. I agree with Payton. He's on a huge hot streak at the moment. I understand it's kind of building Rhodes up in order to have him put the briefcase on the line, but Sandow is getting buried to shitville at the moment. It's ridiculous. He's getting buried worse than most Money in the Bank guys.
If it weren't for Wade Barrett, he would be the most buried guy in the company right now.
Yeah. It's like, why give him the damn briefcase in the first place? They might as well have just had Rhodes have it. He's not ready for it. He's not ready for a push that big. In my opinion, I really think they should take the briefcase off him. He should lose the briefcase to Rhodes because he doesn't need it. He don't deserve it at this point in time. He's lost every match he's been in.
It's not up to him though. It's up to the company to make him look like a presentable threat or to move up to an actual world championship. It's not.
Would you take this guy seriously?
Wait. We can't look at this as the people who knows about these guys. You got to look at it as, yeah, okay, they decide that, but they also decided to put that briefcase on him, and that briefcase being on him doesn't make sense because they don't book him the way that he should be to be holding that briefcase. Mm-hmm. It's all related.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Did they book Brian good a few years back when he won the briefcase?
Absolutely not. They do it all the time with these briefcase winners. They get the briefcase, they go on a losing streak. It's absurd.
Right. It really makes no sense.
Except for Randy Orton.
It makes no sense because then when they have the person cash in, everybody kind of gets this idea of like, oh, well, now they're going to get this big push and all that. But a lot of the people that cash in Money in the Bank afterward, they still don't get pushed that well. Look at Jack Swagger.
Or Dolph Ziggler.
Or Dolph Ziggler, yeah. Well, Dolph Ziggler, a lot of the problem with that was just a random concussion. But at the same time, if you look at the Jack Swagger situation, he cashes in on, who was the champion at the time, Jericho or Edge? I think it was Jericho, right? Yeah. He cashes in on Jericho, and then he kind of does nothing for not really that long. His championship run wasn't really that long, except for look like a jackass. And then he drops it to, Rey Mysterio, out of all fucking people?
Mm-hmm.
So he drops it to Burhan.
Yeah.
I would run with it. I would do, I would be like the best champion ever.
But I don't know why they do this with the Money in the Bank people. And even though it's a bad thing that they're doing it with Sandow, I do think that if they want this feud to continue, Cody Rhodes winning made a lot more sense. Now, if they have another match, and they shouldn't have had this match on Raw, it should have gone to Damien Sandow, because you can't have Damien Sandow lose everything. So if they do have another match, either you take the briefcase away from him and give him to Cody Rhodes, and then you really sit down and figure out what you want to do to help Sandow out, because then he's in a really bad spot. Or you give it to Sandow and you make him start winning now. They can't just have Cody win another match between the two of them and then just keep going on like that. That's ridiculous. Because Sandow's never going to be ready for a World Heavyweight Championship if you keep doing that. Or he's going to look like a jackass.
Agree with you on that one. It doesn't work. And the problem is, at this point in time, he's just not looking like a strong contender. And he's someone that needs it. That's the problem. He is someone that needs to be pushed and pushed properly. And instead of being pushed properly, he's being treated like he's a piece of crap. And it needs to stop. He needs to look like a credible contender. He needs it more than anybody because he was on a huge losing streak before he got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh, yes.
So he needs to look credible. Yeah, fair enough. You're going to do it with everybody else, but you really need to get this guy and get behind him, because if you don't, he's going to be the first lower card wrestler to win the World Heavyweight Championship, aside from Jack Swagger.
I was going to say, I think Swagger counts for that very much.
But again, Swagger was, most of us even said he was a big bloody mistake. It boggles the mind. I don't understand it. I think it's wrong. I really think they need to get their ass in gear over this.
Any other thoughts, anybody?
I miss Cody's mustache.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Cody's mustache a little bit. He came out to the match, and that was the first thing that I noticed, and a lot of people were talking about that too. The shaving off the mustache thing. I'm all for it.
Out.
I love how we're actually about to talk about a mustache.
Oh, well, for your information, we already are talking about it, okay?
I love how we're about to. I love how we're about to go in depth on a mustache that we
I'm
just
not going to go in
started
depth
talking about.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I expected him to do it long ago. Shave off the mustache.
I'm all for it.
I believe Cody's mustache had even got a chant going during this match.
They did a poll online that people said, "Do you miss the mustache?" and 66% said no.
Oh, come on, that's bullshit. Everyone misses the mustache.
You know what? They
Not
had
a
a
big deal.
really big missed opportunity to where they could have done a grooming tips video of him shaving off the mustache.
They could have. Instead, they had one of the, what was it, JBL and Cole show or something is when they had him shave it, and it's just Wade Barrett shaving it for him, and then he hands him some money.
Is Wade Barrett becoming Bruce the Barber now?
I guess so. He hands him the money, and he says something like thanks or whatever like that, and Barrett's like, "Oh, I got some bad news for you. You need a new T-shirt," because he's wearing the mustache shirt at the time. And Cody looks like all pissed about it, and that's it. That's all they did. So it was like this is like something stupid that Cody starts having this mustache, and it becomes like pretty damn popular for something as stupid as that, to the point where they need to make a T-shirt out of it, and then it kind of just disappears. It's a little odd.
Maybe the mustache had a fallout backstage or something, and it needed to go.
Mustache is headed to TNA as we speak.
It was on JBL and Cole, not backstage fallout.
Nah, shit happens.
The mustache needs its moment. So rest in peace, mustache. In 2012.
It's gonna be like the in memoriam section for the Hall of Fame in WrestleMania 30. Cody Rhodes' mustache. That's good enough for this segment. We're gonna move on to the next part. World Heavyweight Championship: Alberto Del Rio versus Christian.